Hi, Luasha. How are you?
So good to see you. How's everything, Paris?
Well, yeah, actually, it's like kind of very strict here, so we can go out shortly for like doing some shopping or like, yeah, it's like a pretty strict confinement, but it's good way to focus on practicing.
Right. I see that you are playing lots of house concerts now from your home.
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of became my new concert hall here, but.
Very nice.
Yeah, I mean it's like a bit weird feeling. I don't know how this for you, but it's like all this canceled concerts like for the next month. It's yeah, it's somehow nice to still have some aims for which you can kind of practice. And I think otherwise I probably also would like die of boredom or like and
Yeah, I
uh,
completely understand.
yeah.
But I think it's really beautiful what you're doing, especially like you're sharing lots of music with audience. And you also managed to actually still play chamber music. That's really incredible.
Yeah, no, it's actually kind of fun. Like it's a bit different, like playing chamber music in a room together with other people.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're basically play on a recording of like some chamber music partner, but it's a very good training to like really listen because like otherwise there is no chance that they will react to you. So it's like a very nice opportunity to train the ears.
Yeah. And I do wonder what kind of equipment do you use to record, and also, how do you record everything, especially with your chamber music partners?
Oh, actually, like it's pretty basic equipment. So I mean, most of the stuff I record just with like an iPad, and like there's some programs which you can put like different tracks together.
Uh-huh.
So um, normally like the chamber music partners just sent me that track, and I have like some kind of like earphone I put in, and then I play basically on their recording, send it back, and they put it together.
That's
And
incredible because you really fooled me. I really thought that you were just, doing Skype with other people and then
oh
playing with.
yeah, like that's maybe the next step. Yeah, like doing live. But yeah, I mean, I guess my internet connection is not yet fast enough for that. But yeah, maybe one day we will be able to just like play on different continents, chamber music together at the same time. Who knows?
Yeah, I would love to do that. I miss playing with you.
Oh yeah, that would be super cool.
Yeah,
But I hope that we can soon do it again
yeah.
in
It's
um,
so yeah, I for me after a month of not having live concerts, for me I realized the thing that I miss the most is to connect with other musicians. That's
yes,
I really
absolutely.
crave. Yeah.
I
And
uh, I also feel like that's really like what you now what I think we realize now that we don't have it actually how nice it is like to play a chamber music concert and with other musicians
yeah,
together on a real stage. And I mean, I'm lucky. I mean, I'm living with the wireless, so I
I
still can
know.
play some chamber music. But yeah, I mean, it would be so nice when you finally can play like physically in rooms again together. Because I mean, it's great with the technology, but it's still like not the same than when we are really like in one room together and can react on each
Exactly.
other.
Yeah. I actually was talking about this similar topic, yesterday with another musician friend. Um, we were thinking that it is really nice that because of the very special, difficult situation, musicians can sort of share a little bit of what we do on internet, but it is very, very different from live concerts. We
Absolutely.
actually really hear every single nuance and how you interact with not just our musician friends, also the audience.
Yes, exactly. Like this factor of the audience is somehow also missing because I mean you're playing for a screen basically,
Yeah,
and um, of course nothing can replace this kind of magic feeling in in a concert when you communicate with each other and with the audience. This is like kind of what makes it also so special and so different to our practice room.
yeah.
um, I mean, sometimes with this live streams, it's also like a interesting experience because you can see like the people sending likes or hearts or comments.
Yeah.
But I mean, in a way, I feel like very nervous, like looking at it because I think I might get out or like lose myself, like if I like look at the screen. And I think this would be for me like the most embarrassing feeling ever when you like lose your text in a live stream and like with everyone watching it. So like, I mean, I try to not look too much, but yeah, I still have to say I really miss like playing in live concerts. Like
Yeah.
it's just like for the time of confinement.
No, but I think what you're doing is very remarkable. I actually like watched some of your performance you've been doing on Bach's cello suite. It's like a challenge, right? Did you said
Yes.
Bach against a coronavirus, something like that?
Yeah, yeah, I was like really yeah, searching for a challenge like for this time where you're like really stuck at home and also trying to do something useful and I think we will never ever have so much time like now to like really dig into something um like that. And I think Bach, I mean, it's for me like I'm also rediscovering it. Of course, I played all the suites, but I never had so much time to look into every movement and like look at all the different manuscripts. And especially with the Bach cello suites, is so interesting because we don't have like an original manuscript, so you can
No?
really compare only like so we have only Anna Magdalena Bach a copy,
Yes.
and we have like the copy of Keller and some
Yeah.
other sources,
So the
but
one,
we don't really have like the Bach manuscript itself. So it's like really a bit like of detective work, like looking, okay, who wrote what. And this is really very much fun to do this. And
to be honest, I'm because obviously I'm not a cellist, but I play both violin and viola. So as a violist,
yeah,
also like exploring cello suites.
yes,
So it's good to know that you're. So I mean, so basically, the manuscript we can find, they are actually not Bach's original.
yes, yes, exactly. And I think this makes it especially interesting. I mean, then the violin partitas, of course, you have like the original writing of Bach, but with the cello suites, it's like really, I mean, that's also why they sound so different from each other, even with different notes and phrasings and everything, because we actually have like all those sources who are surprisingly different often, and then you have somehow to find your way and like compare and think, okay, what makes sense. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
really really kind of a cool this adventure to do this. And yeah, so I don't get bored these days actually.
That's really good to know that you're actually using the time to.
Yeah, it feels like at least then you don't get totally depressed if you know at least it's like um, yeah, you get like somehow you do some useful work maybe, and
But that's also something that I do wonder, because obviously you're a very um, serious musician, but you also are very open-minded with, different approach, uh, sort of trying to find out your own voice, just like what you were trying to
yeah.
with Bach. So I do wonder, for you, obviously every day is different. How much do you feel like you want to sort of respect tradition? And the tradition is not necessarily what the composer wrote in the beginning, but the tradition, sort of like how our mentors or the past generations passed on to us, how they interpreted the older music. So how much percentage would you say you try to sort of stay with that approach, or you try to forget about that and just try to come out completely your own understanding of the manuscript?
I mean, I think probably we all are influenced by somehow traditions, either from our teachers or recording we might have heard, and somehow belongs to our artistic identity too. But I mean, when you look at a piece, of course, you should always, yeah, you always try to look at it as with your own eyes and
For sure.
ideas, and like, I mean, of course you don't ignore what the people do before, but you like maybe question it. Okay, what might be the reasons? And then you come up with your completely new own way. And in a way, it's like maybe comparable. I mean, when like different actors reading a text, everyone will read it differently, and the same is with us musicians. And that's a wonderful thing also about music. You have to bring it in our time and like make the music alive, because the manuscript itself, I mean, it's
It's just a way for you to maybe imagine and recreate, to bring a piece of a sort of a piece of information, to bring the information to alive and very spiritual experiences for
exactly.
you and for others, basically.
Yes, yes. You create, you recreate it. I like this word very much. Yeah, and um, I think also if you like look through the different interpretations, I mean, every interpretation is also like very much influenced by the time. I mean,
Exactly.
uh,
Yeah.
like the you can really identify like the time the recording was made. And what I love very much, when you can directly identify the sound of the artist and like the kind of style, um, and that's what I'm kind of looking for, like finding your own voice.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's always very fresh to hear your play. I mean, obviously, for me, I think I played once with you as colleagues. I also heard you
Yes.
in the audience. Like I had very, you know, um, like I think because I worked with you in rehearsal rooms, and then I played with you on stage. For me, it's transcending how you sort of bring pieces alive in the moment. And you really, for me, it was really, really fun and inspiring to work with you, because every time when you get on stage, you not necessarily forget what you were doing in the rehearsal room, but you sort of bring something new and real in the moment on the stage. That was really something that I truly believe in as well, and I think it's probably something that either it's your natural instinct or something that you probably are aware of it. So I was wondering, for you as an artist and musician, um, do you see your preparation as a way to be free on the stage? Or like how, maybe my similar question is, how much do you sort of rely on your preparation in order to be, like liberating in that final moment on the stage?
Yes, I think that's a very good point. You prepare as much as possible and read the score as detailed as possible, and then on stage you add the magic of the moment, like the little bit more. And for me, like the music is very much an art of creating in the moment, because like the moment we play it, it's already gone in a way. So it's like
Yeah.
really just created for this moment, for this special occasion, and this makes it so precious and so special in a way. So I would say like as serious preparation as possible, but then liberation on stage, and like especially like in chamber music, it was also so wonderful when the last time we performed, I could really feel like you and we were very much reacting on each other, and we all kind of created these moments together, and that's something really magical when this happens on stage.
Yeah, same feelings from me. It was really magical, and we also had a lot of fun, off
Oh
stage
yes.
as well. Yeah, and remember that you
Yeah,
you
yeah.
dropped the ball so many times, and I broke my string in one rehearsal. Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah.
Well, would you mind sharing some of your maybe fun stories? Playing either solo concert or chamber music concerts, something that was really really memorable to you.
Yeah, I have like some very embarrassing moments. I mean, one of maybe the most embarrassing moment was like I was maybe around 17, 18, and I just gotten a beautiful Guarneri cello. It
Ah.
was bought by great a big bank, and the chief of the bank was in this concert, and I was very nervous and wanted to show how much I loved this Guarneri cello, and the concert started really well, and it was really going really good, everything. But then I remember I was playing Shostakovich sonata, and it ends with this huge pizzicato in the end, and I was maybe a little bit over motivated in this concert, so I did this pizzicato, and the cello like flew out
Oh.
my legs over the stage, like, and landed, I don't know, 2 meters away, and it made a huge noise, and like the whole froze, and the public was absolutely like in shock, and
Oh
I
my God.
just wanted to die. And I could
Sounds
see the
okay.
face of the spanker guy, like, and so I had to do my walk of shame to the cello. And luckily, it was still like in good shape. I mean, Guarneri built really stable instruments,
What?
but
Wow, you're so lucky.
but yeah, that was maybe my most embarrassing moment. But luckily, yeah, the cello sounded as good as before. But yeah, since then I'm a bit more careful with pizzicatos.
Wow. That's a very memorable thing.
Oh yeah, that was very memorable story. Memorable story.
Wow. Oh, and how did you? I was wondering. You were born in Germany, and how did you start playing music in the beginning?
Oh, it actually came through my older brother. He was like playing in a piano trio, and I was turning the pages for the pianists and would listen for hours and hours to their rehearsals. And that's where I fell in love with cello. Actually, they were playing. And they were preparing some competition and were playing all the time the Mendelssohn D minor trio, which starts with this beautiful cello solo.
Yeah, wait, it's
Um,
he said we were supposed to play in April.
oh yes, yes, that was like what we're. Was, yeah, unfortunately, I hope it will be postponed.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I love this trio, and somehow that's was my first
love.
love.
Uh,
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, it's definitely one of the most beautiful uh,
Oh
cello parts.
yes, yes, definitely, and yeah, so very much my first connection was through my older brother. He
Oh my.
played all the time basically, so I grew up with that
And
basically.
he's not a cellist anymore, right?
No, no, he used to play violin, but actually he didn't do it professionally in the end. Yeah, but I don't know. As a kid, he played all the time, so that was my major influence.
See, wow, that's fantastic. I do have one little like maybe request because I also um, I think I watched your post about um, this I think avant-garde piece. Well, you were shouting and screaming while
Oh
playing.
yes,
What is
yes, yes.
it called? It was very very wild.
Oh yeah, it's very wild piece. It's like Wolfgang Riem is a composer, and he's yeah, he's really one of the great avant-garde German composers. And this piece is called Grad, and he really writes it very exactly in the part that you should shout as wild as you can. And I have to say, it's so liberating to shout and play. And
I
I have to
was
say,
really I was astonished by your ability. Like you're an amazing actor. You were very into it while you. I mean, obviously you were playing amazingly, but I was very impressed by your whole ability of how do you say like actor. You were really in a different zone. Like yeah,
yeah, I don't know. That is maybe one of the professions. If I would be not a cellist, I would have loved to do like acting. It's like,
me too.
um,
My
I,
second favorite thing was you know being actor.
I really okay. I didn't know that. Yeah, it's like somehow always attracted me, and yeah, and also I worked it with Riem, and he also encouraged me to really completely go wild there. So I really had big fun doing that piece. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So my request was, obviously, as musician and artist, we not that necessarily used to this type of art or music, but we are probably have more experiences, sort of approaching this type of energy. So for just normal concert goers, what kind of things would you maybe encourage them to imagine or to listen to dealing with these type of music?
Yeah, I mean, especially this kind of music, it goes to the extremes. It like really brings you out of your comfort zone. And I mean, our human life is also so extreme nowadays. And
Mhm.
um, I think this kind of music also expresses
Yes.
like this enormous variety of emotions we experience nowadays. So I would like say like if you are like in such kind of concert, you really can allow yourself to like get these impressions right into your ears and like really allow yourself even like emotions which are not only that of beauty or like comfort, but also like to experience this kind of our soul too.
Exactly. I think that it was the same thing that I heard from Gideon Kramer. He said, obviously music, a lot of music we play as classic musicians are beautiful, beautiful, romantic, idealistic. But we are in a very different time. I think after 20th century, he said a lot of the music express something not, it's beyond beauty. It's human emotion. Sometimes
Yes,
we have these very painful, dark moments that we cannot really let it out, but it is there, and we need to also uh, be able to recreate it through art and through music.
exactly, to express this kind of emotions. And if you look like in 20th century, this disasters we had there, and like this kind of like shock, and to express this and to like also like deal with it, I think art can really help like to also express sometimes our disbelief that things like this are possible. And so I think art is always also a reflection on the time, uh, and unfortunately it's not always about beauty. I mean, our
Yeah,
world is very multi faced with like, so I think art can I mean, I read one beautiful thing by Kafka once. He said, a good book should be like melting the ice in our hearts. And I think that's the same like occurs to music. Like it's not necessarily have to be always beautiful, but it should always like kind of like um, give something to our uh, inner inner feelings, to warm them, and like to express things we maybe often are not even able to put in words, but are able to express in music.
it's beautiful. Yeah. Um, I totally 100% agree with your statement. Also, I think in our time, I think musicians or artists, we also belong to the community. We also can reflect to like what you say, what we believe in and what we don't believe in. Uh,
Yes,
for what is going on, um, whether it is a difficult time or something that you with certain structure that you don't necessarily agree with, we actually also have a saying through music, through art.
yes.
I also noticed that you play a little bit some video for this organization that helps refugee. I just noticed
Oh,
today.
yes, yes, yes. It's a wonderful organization who tries to raise awareness. Like, um, they have a cooperation with Doctors Without Borders, uh,
Yes.
who try to help in the refugee camps who are like in absolutely disastrous conditions there. And it's- I mean, they're like really in like have no um, possibility also
Mm.
to have like simplest hygienic things there, and it's like really a really bad situation. So this Doctors Without Borders tried to help there,
Yeah.
and we have like a wonderful group of musicians who do videos and things. So I think as a musician, it's maybe not only our job to play notes perfectly in the right
Yeah.
order, but also to do a bit more than that. And I think I mean, this year was supposed to be the big Beethoven
Yeah.
jubilee. I mean, a bit, yeah, didn't take place really throughout this crisis. But I mean, he was really maybe the first musician who also like brought us up of also being uh, actually a humanist and also like to care for more than just music, but also to use music to maybe raise compassion and to maybe make the world a bit better place. Also, this is maybe a bit ambitious aim, but
Nothing is too ambitious. I actually do really appreciate what you're trying to uh, say, because obviously nowadays I think as musicians, we all feel that maybe we are a little bit uh, mm, powerless comparing with, for example, doctors or medical workers, because of, I mean, at least I think in the beginning, when I had no concerts, the only feeling I had was, oh, how can I actually help the world? How can I actually be of a sort of a contributor to the society?
yeah,
Because all of a sudden we feel like, oh, music is very, very meaningful and beautiful in regular time, but perhaps, like what you said, in any difficult time, art and music is still very powerful and meaningful.
yes,
It's not in a very perhaps uh, like a direct way, um, but I do feel that in especially this kind of difficult situation, when people are home, when people feel that they need something nourishing, you know, like literature, art, music, it's something that can really nourish our soul.
absolutely. And of course, like I understand what you say with doctors, and they of course helping directly. And as a musician, we help at another part. As you say, we keep up the spirits. We kind of like can console with our music, and so we are maybe doctors for the soul, where the doctors are maybe uh, healing the body. And so it's like I think can go very well along.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it was really fun and nice, meaningful chatting with you as always, Benedict. I just,
Likewise.
yeah, one last question. What do you do for fun when you're not playing music?
When I'm not playing music, I mean, now the possibilities are a bit more limited than usual. But I have to say, I still have a great. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but I still have like actually a good time because so much time, more time than usual,
Yes.
and yeah, normally I start the day with like walks through like Paris. It's like completely
Yes.
empty now. It's
Yeah.
super
You're in
beautiful
one of the most
weather.
beautiful cities.
Exactly. So I enjoyed that, and I start to learn cooking, and
Oh, you
yeah,
do?
yeah. It's like you will see next time. It will be
Yeah.
much
Last time
improved.
you were, well, you made some pasta. Yes, I remember.
Yeah, that was all I could do.
Well,
But
looking forward to your cooking skill
oh
next time.
yes, you will see. Anyway, I hope you keep you up your happy spirit and stay healthy. And I hope that we meet soon at some nice chamber music project. And
Yes, for sure. And yes, stay healthy and happy even during this difficult time. I do think that all of us, we will survive. And I really hope this difficult situation can be uh, solved in a couple months.
yes,
Yeah, but
let's keep
yeah,
the fingers crossed for that. That this that we hopefully get over this crisis very soon, and until then we just like keep keep playing and
Like, thank
yeah,
you so much, Benedict.
thank you, Lusha.